It's crazy. We our first year we went from zero to like 3,000. And then in the following year, which I guess would be this last year, we went from 3,000 to like 3,800. It just grinded to a halt, you know.
Yep.
And I don't, it could be a lot of things. Because a lot of things happen early in the year with the currency situation, and I mean, I saw even this week, man, they had another like, what was it? I've got to save it on my phone. It was a cow processing plant just blew up, and then there was another processing plant that had
Yeah.
a fire yesterday, I think.
Yep.
And because we're kind of in the industry, with the risk management and safety and all that, and so I'll get notices and incident reports from major plant emergencies and whatnot, and yeah, I don't remember ever this many food processing incidents happening back to back to back to back to back. It just doesn't happen.
Hey, and we can talk about some of this when you put it on the video too, because I'm in transportation. I'm the regional operations director for Deaton Fleet Solutions. We do heavy truck and trailer repair.
Okay,
Company
yeah.
that work. So I work with all the big names. We JB Hunt, NFI, Epps, Penske. XPO Logistics. That's some of the 400 customers that we have. We're in 24 states. And with all the supply chain issues and all that kind of stuff, I've actually built relationships with a lot of the distribution center management because,
Mhm.
I deal with the Walmart DCs and the Lowe's distribution centers and so a friend of mine works for XPO Logistics in Indianapolis, and he sent me a video when that Walmart distribution center caught on fire. That was
Yeah.
one of the first ones. Remember last year we had over 30 of those
Yep.
things in one year catch on fire, and they were all distribution centers.
Oh yeah.
Now you and I both know that when it comes to OSHA standards, when it comes to buildings, that they have some of the best sprinkler and fire
Oh
suppression
yeah.
systems there are.
Hmm.
And literally that Walmart DC and most of them that burned down, the one in Indianapolis was insane. It was a complete loss. You're talking about acres and acres and acres of facility, and it burned so hot and so fast and so bad that it even burned most of the trailers that were backed up to it all the way around the building.
Yeah.
Now you tell me how that happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and especially,
We had a plane fly into it.
well, yeah, and especially given the contents, a lot of these food process, we're not talking about petrochem fires. A lot of these
No.
plants, they consist of basically wood, paper, and stuff like that. That's
Right.
not hard for a fire suppression system to contain, and the
No.
NFPA standards are very stringent on that. And it's just, yeah, it's
Yeah, and you look at the if you looked at that, and I know a lot of it kind of disappeared as time went on, but the first pictures of that distribution center of the big one, that first one in Indianapolis, um, I mean, it was looked like it was a big flat lot. It
yeah,
literally burned the entire thing to the ground. There was hardly anything left. And I'm like, it's impossible. Okay. You can tell yourself whatever you want to.
yeah,
It is virtually impossible. It can't freaking happen. So, but now we had all the transportation with the DCs. Now we have all these train derailments,
hmm,
polluting water and all this stuff. Hey, chalk it up to coincidence if you like, but we know better.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's yeah, and yeah, because and at least we have a nice insight to a unique insight because a lot of people initially when these things kick off, a lot of people jump straight to, hey, it's a planned event. And, early on, I always try to keep some perspective because hey, I'm aware of these incidents that people typically aren't. But
yeah.
yeah, 30 some odd, nah, that's not a
Oh
coincidence.
yeah.
That doesn't happen in the industry.
Same thing with the train derailments,
Yeah.
right? Same thing with the train derailments. We see a train derailment once a blue moon. All of a sudden, we've seen how many this year alone? I mean, it's like back to back to back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just like that with the first two, my reaction was, well, it's unusual, but it's still within the parameters of what we see in a But then you had like three, four, five, six, seven. Like, that
Yeah, and
doesn't happen.
it's back to back. It's literally
Yeah,
it was like every week here's another trade around. I'm like, come on, guys.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
it's it's blatant anymore. You
yeah,
know,
and
it's
you
literally blatant.
there's the security footage of this, and like with the buildings burning down. How many of those are chicken processing plants? I'm like,
Yep,
how
same deal,
many?
same
Just
deal.
yeah, I don't know. It's yeah.
Yeah, the whole
So
thing is geared. Yeah,
yeah. Well, it's like yeah, it's with the what's the word I'm looking for? Not fake inflation, but the inflation's created on purpose. The scarcity is
yeah,
created on purpose, and then you got
yes,
with the food supply and then the chemicals, and
yeah.
it's yeah.
And that whole food supply, I dealt with that supply chain crisis due to the pandemic garbage for 2 years now. 2 years just solid of dealing with the issues, and the issues they were man made,
Yep.
created issues. Yes, we have a driver shortage due to the government said, "Hey, just stay at home and we'll give you money."
Mhm.
You know, the ports, they were sending everybody home at the ports. They wouldn't
Yep.
allow them on the yard. So
Yep.
no,
I remember
you
that.
can't unload freight if you tell everybody they can't work,
Yep.
right? So, but yeah. Well, how you want to do this today then?
Well, I mean, I figure we can start by we can I've got the whole thing recorded, so I can always cut and splice and edit.